What is an asset? What is a liability to you? Like, how do you define an asset? How do you define a liability?
I'm gonna be honest, I think depending on the role you play and who you are, what's a liability for one brother could be an asset for another. You understand? Let's say me owning a private jet, 15 passenger, let's say if it was $5.5 million. For one individual, that could be a liability. But the position I'm in, it could be an asset. And not just based on the money I get or my salary, but the individuals that surround me that I know would also lease this jet when I'm not using it. You know what I mean? So it's money we could get. We could take care of the maintenance, the pilot, the steward, everybody based on letting, another dude or two make a move once or twice a month. It's simple as, my sister may let me know, your residency or what you doing with this individual covers the expenses for living for the entire year. Everything else right there is that's cushion. I call that confetti. That's like being in Club Live at 3 a.m. Poof. It's just falling. And I love to look up and let the dollars hit me in the face. Oh man, it makes you masterful. Imagine creating a film. You wrote the film, produced the film, directed the film, edited the film, distributed the film. Can you imagine the process and what you learn doing that? It takes you to a whole nother level when you're in a room full of other directors who could be great directors, but it's a whole nother vision, it's a whole nother insight when you actually hands-on. It's time to capitalize on the moment. This will separate the real boys and men. It's a lot of dudes I saw live a certain lifestyle that came to a cease. Soon as that motherfucking fungus hit.
Mm-hmm. The fungus among us.
The fungus still among us.
Still among us.
You feel me? A lot of motherfuckers' lifestyle cease.
That's a fact.
It wasn't like that for Rose. That's the only way I could see me having 20 current partnerships without any stress, without being burnt out, actually looking forward to this shit. You understand? We looking forward to sitting down with the homies. You can imagine how many interviews I do, how many Zooms, I call them rooms, and I look forward to the shit. And how can I do that? It's because the small talk shouldn't make it to the boss. You should have somebody on your team that's so hungry that shit ain't gonna even get past them. Of course they gonna check in and run it by you because that's what you do out of respect for the boss, but you already know what the play is. And if I was the little homie next to the billionaire, it's very little that would get to him. He's a very mature individual, you know what I mean? He's actually a great student, a great son, you understand? And he's an amazing football player as well. And he's very mature, you know what I mean? He's grew up watching me run in and out of Wingstops. He's always been, come on, I'm finna go to Wingstop, let's go. Come on. I grab a broom, you get the mop. Come on, let's go. He understands that, he gets that. So I just wanted to reward him as he coming into a young man, his maturity level, and let him know, come on, let me give you some of these responsibilities as well. Yeah. It's not just money and paper, but it's also responsibilities. Little phone calls you sit in on here and there. Let me get your input on this and that because it's valuable. I'm just letting them know how valuable he is. You must manage your emotions. You gotta master the art of taking the L. Because being a boss, you're gonna lose, you're gonna win. So you gotta be able to grow and take from whatever the situation is, regardless of what it is. And sometimes I may not be the best at dealing with my emotions. Sometimes I do. It's like that though. But overall, you know what I mean? I leave my door open for good business. And that's more important than the way my emotions. That's what we did. We got 40 other entrepreneurs in the room together over a weekend, and we all just
shared ideas, mastermind.
That's all we did. And man, it was so valuable. I learned from them and vice versa. We learned from each other. Now let's share each other's platforms. Let's share each other's connections. Let's share each other's resources. That's when you pitching on the mound like Rose. And no excuses gonna be accepted. We ain't accepting no excuses. We really coming to get it. It's one thing when motherfuckers rapping, making songs and talking about this, that, 20 million, and this shit real right here. This shit real. We accumulating. Fuck all that fancy shit, cause it's a real big difference in who doing it and who talking about doing it. And I don't put no pressure on them, cause they all still young. They all still young right now. I ain't putting no pressure on them right now to be in this position, but most definitely you see what we got going on, and are you ready to get some money? And they done all made it clear, I gotta get me some money. I ain't even tripping, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, and you gotta find a way to enjoy it.